People always say that you're just gonna break my heart, but I'm ready to play and see if we can take this far. Sweetness on your lips, gotta have more feelings. They always for hit me with like this. Give me life, keep on going, keep on going, keep on going higher. Burning with desire, everything is brighter. Whenever you're around, whenever we get down, going higher. Feel us like a tiger, everything is lighter. Whenever you're around, whenever we get down. People always say that you're just gonna break my heart, but I'm ready to play. Let's see if we can take this far. Sweetness on your lips, gotta have more feelings. They always for hit me with like this. Give me life, keep on going, keep on going, keep on going higher. Burning with desire, everything is brighter. Whenever you're around, whenever we get down, going higher. Feel us like a tiger, everything is lighter.
need tonight is your voice and an upright piano. Cause those are two of my favorite sounds. The lions at the gate in my mind, and we've run out of ammo. But everything is gonna be just fine. Can we roll it? Can we hold it? Can we drink it, chop it up and smoke it? Can we peel it? Can we pop it? Cause we don't like feeling these emotions. Can we try it? Can we find it? Can we please be kind and just rewind it? This is real life, these are real times, and we're always wanting to escape them. Put down that vice, they're all nice, let's have a conversation. Cause you are one of my favorite songs. It always ends the same way for you, and those demons are chasing. Can we face them? Can we roll it? Can we
What is going on in the House of Commons? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, or good night. And wherever you are in the world. I don't know why. Why does it stop? Why does this background just stop when it needs to loop? I asked you to loop. Just loop. Anyway. Hello. And welcome. Thank you for tuning into the Everything GM broadcast. And if you're new, welcome. If you're not new, welcome back. And today, we are going to address in a very... Oh God, green screen. Just relax. Just a second. Shit. It's just like... Is that better? Can you chill a bit? Just key out more stuff, please. We need to work on this. Hold on. Does that work better? No, that works. That works about the same. Hold on a sec. I'll work on this. Let's see. Go away. Can you please? Oh, it's slowly going away, but it returns. We're editing filters. Oh. Right. You. Get more. Oh, look at that. Yeah. Oh, that's too much. Hold on. That's a little not enough. Let's go with 77. Oh, that starts to key out my forehead. I mean, that's fine, but like, yes, like, okay. I'll just see if I can. Let's see if I twist it, does it work? Ooh, okay. Okay, something happened. It's pretty cool. I like that. If I move backwards, it gets worse. I don't know why. We're going to put that on 73 and see if that does anything. You know what? It's good enough. It's not. It's not good enough. I lied. I'm going to fix it. We're going to make you straight. It's so... Key out the color, please. Oh, maybe it's because my shirt is green. If I make it close up. You know what? Yeah, like I said, it's good enough. We're going to just smooth that a little bit. Oh, God. It was on 20 before. I ruined everything. My forehead is being keyed. My forehead's green. No. Hold on. What happens if I, like, trim that down a little bit? Does it take out more or less? It takes out more. Not good. We're going to just make that, yeah. And we'll put that on 81 and it'll key out my forehead. Very nice. Oh, God. Alright, either way. And wherever you are in the world, welcome back to the stream. Today, we are doing two things again. Ugh. It's so annoying. Because I can see it in the top corner, like, constantly. Yeah. Today, as I sit in my lounge from Tor, I will finally be talking about the issue with D&D and what is going on with the Open Gaming License, and then we'll be playing some games again because I need to relax. First, of course, we're going to do our meditation as usual, just to get ourselves a little bit calmer, a little bit more centered, and then we will talk about what on earth is going on with D&D. But for now, give me just a second while I fix this flippin' green screen thing. I'll be right back. I'll get there. It worked! Excellent. Hold on. Here we are. Boop, boop. Yes, good. Right. We'll be talking about the the D&D bullshittery soon. But before that, let's get into a bit of a centering state. All right. Let's see here. So, let's begin, shall we? Our first order of business is, of course, grabbing our little meditation mix, which was fun the last time we did it. Gimme. It was great. So, it's been a day. Don't know how it's been for you, but I hope your day's been great. My day's been okay. So far so good. I had a good morning stream. We did some cool stuff. I regret many things in the Outer Wilds. And what else did I do? Before that I did some reading, which was fun. We read the episode 3, the Star Wars episode 3 novelization. You can check all of that out down in the VODs below in my live section under my YouTube channel. Also, speaking of the YouTube channel, if you want to see me more, support me, do any other things that I offer, you can go to my main page, which is also down below, and you can join the Discord and have some fun with my friends and me, and be my friend as well, because I could always use more friends, and that's all down below as well. So, if you, without further ado, let's take a second to turn this lovely song down. Just a second. Get that nice and soft. There we go. And let's start up something, shall we? So. This is going to be very similar to how I did it last time. And I would just like you, once we begin, just find a comfortable spot. I'll say it again when we've begun. But for now, just take some time. Just kind of reset yourself. Try and empty your mind. Empty those thoughts a little bit. It can be hard sometimes. And let's begin. I would first like you to get into a very comfortable position. One in which you might possibly fall asleep. You could be lying down, could be seated. Either way is fine. This is a very personal calming experience for you. So whatever you need to just get a little bit more peaceful is fine. Whatever works. From this moment, every breath in and out, notice. Be aware of it. Be aware of the air that fills your lungs. Be aware that it travels down to the rest of your body as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, it travels up again and escapes through your mouth or your nose. And while you're there, in that comfortable position, noticing your breathing, I would like you to simply start to be aware of what goes on around you. First, be aware of what you can sense. What noises are going on around you? Outside, inside? Traffic, birds, some weather, a computer monitor next to you, a light, the hum of an electrical bulb up ahead, the creaking of your chair as you settle into it. What can you sense? Still focusing on every breath you take. And then go further with your senses. What do you feel? Do you feel warm? Cold? Comfortable? Or uncomfortable? And why, if so? Feel not just where you are, but where every part of your body is, where it touches something, and where it doesn't touch something. Is your hand resting next to you, or on top of you? Notice these things. And calm yourself just a little. Every breath still taking in, filling you up, and every out-breath expelling it gently. As you start to breathe and notice these things, focus on your mind, enter your headspace, and think for a moment, what has your day been like so far? Has it just begun? Is it going on? Is it ending? And no matter where you are in the day, there is always a time to stop and think. You can always take 5 minutes to do this, to center yourself, to notice. Not just to notice what's going on with you, but to feel everything around you, to be aware of your environment and of your surroundings, and to know where you are. The point of these exercises is not necessarily to find peace, but to simply take a moment every day to feel time passing. So often we let time pass around us without stopping, noticing it pass. And if we do that for enough time, we find ourselves wondering where it all went. Instead, I want you to stop. Just for this brief moment, take a look. feel time around you. Feel it passing you by at the same rate all the time. Sometimes we feel as though time is moving too fast, and sometimes too slow. But here, in this moment, we realize one single truth. That time is and always will move at the same pace, all the time. And now that you're doing that, I'd like you to take 1 minute to sit with you and your day and your thoughts and your mind, your environment, and just exist for 1 minute. Starting now. It's been a minute. Were you too fast, too slow, or just about right? Either way, good job. You've just existed for a second. You've taken time and slowed it down to a normal, slightly easier to cope with pace. All the things that you've focused on up to this moment, I want you to do again. When you feel your breath, feel it filling you up. And expelling. Again and again. Extend your senses to your skin. Feel what it's touching, feel what it's not touching. Where are you? Are you sitting? Are you lying down? What is around you? Is there traffic? Are there birds? Is there a computer? The hum of electricity? The sound of people? And once you've extended your senses gently and on your own time over the next 30 seconds, wake up. Good job. Very nice. If you're here along for the ride with me, I don't think anyone's in chat right now, but if you are watching from the VOD afterwards, I hope you enjoyed that. I always find that it's a little bit when we get into it, it can feel quite intense. But if you can just take it from a casual perspective like I do, then maybe that'll make you feel more comfortable. If this is weird to you, maybe question why. Why is it weird? It was weird for me first, I'll tell you that much. And then I realized kind of, it's okay. It's cool to learn to chill a little bit, you know, every once in a while. We move so fast these days, and faster every day it feels like. So it's good to just, you know, stop every now and then and allow yourself to relax, even if it's only for, you know, 5 minutes at a time. Lovely piece as well. I'm gonna let it go for a little bit, and when the song is over, we'll move on to some other stuff. Have you had a good day? Is everyone doing okay? I really did enjoy the morning stream. It was quite fun. And this is really, I feel more comfortable now, which is great. So it's working. It works for me, at least. If it isn't working for you, you can tell me if you want me to say something else. This is a request. This could be request-based as well. If there's something else that you'd like to hear. Goodness. Oh yes, that was excellent. Okay, so in just a moment, I will be answering all your questions about what is the OGL, what is the old one, what is the new one. No, stop, key out. Thank you. God. What is the new OGL? What is the old one? How do they work together? Spoiler alert, they don't. And what is the response from Wizards of the Coast been about all of this? Spoiler alert, nothing. We'll get to all of that in a second. Goodness gracious. And let's see what we got. And boom. Ooh, ASCII's royalty free? No, that's awesome. Very, very cool. Okay, great. Right. Everyone, we're going to talk about D&D. Now, if you don't know me, or if you know me at all, you know that I love D&D. It was my introduction, like many others, it was my introduction into tabletop role-playing games. And I've been playing it now for about 7 years now. Since I was in university, I first started playing it. I was introduced to it by some friends that I met online, and they are now some of my closest friends in the whole world. And this is one of my most treasured passions and hobbies. Not just D&D, it branched off into many other things, but the joy of tabletop role-playing games has stuck with me for the last 7 years. It comes from a love of roleplay that has stuck with me for my whole life. So roleplay is a big part of what I do and who I am. As a result of that, when I think about everything that this OGL thing is bringing up, it reminds me very much of something that D&D itself kind of reminds us of. When you read the player handbook, the first note in the player handbook, and I will actually be opening stuff up. Let's see if I can find it quickly. Do I still have this? Oh, yeah, I think I do. Ooh, I don't have it on this computer. Okay. Either way, the player's handbook states right at the bottom of one of the first pages. It states, I think it's at the end of the introduction. It states that D&D goes beyond just the name D&D, because it is you, the player, or you, the DM, that makes D&D what it is. It is not the name that you attach to it as a brand. It's not It's not what we call it. It's what we make of it. That is the magic of D&D. And D&D makes it very clear that it's not the magic of D&D. It's the magic of you. And it's the magic of us and what we do with it. And that is the creative directive of Dungeons & Dragons and of all tabletop role-playing games. It means nothing without the people who use it and make things on top of it that are satisfying for them. People who make things that they are passionate about. Hold on, let me just come off deafened here just so, yeah. It's not D&D that has done it. It's us. It's you. It's the community that has made D&D what it is. With that said, it's very important to remember a few things. And the one thing that I can remember now, and I will come to more as I come on. Ah, yes, hello. Welcome, welcome. The one thing that I will tell you to remember now, more than anything else, is to remember that while we are directing our ire towards Wizards of the Coast, it is important to know who is truly responsible at the end of this. Not to beat a broken record, I'll get to who's really responsible at the end, but I hope that we can all take from this conflict and this debacle that the creators, the people who make the content, please remember that they are not responsible for this. It is not them who are hungry for profit. They are workers. They are creators. They are artists and visionaries, in my opinion. And they are not to blame for this. The people who are to blame are those at the top. The capitalists. Yes. And that is what is ultimately to blame here. This is a failure of capitalism. In fact, it's rather more a design function of capitalism, but it functions as a failure for everyone except the top. And that is exactly how it works. To avoid getting to that much about it, we're going to talk about the details now, about what the OGL is, what it does, and how you can understand it a little bit more. So, essentially, I'm going to pull up what the OGL 1.0 says first. Now, first, bear in mind a small timeline. D&D was created so many years ago, decades ago, but about 20 years ago, the Wizards of the Coast released 3rd edition D&D. And with that came something called an open gaming license. And around 3rd edition D&D, I think that kind of led to the creation of 3.5, but around this time, there was something called an open gaming license, which allowed people and creators to use the SRD, the rules related to D&D, to make their own content and then sell that content for profit for themselves and to make a business off of that. They had a right to use freely and without fear of legal retribution the copyright material found in D&D's SRD, their core rulebooks. So that includes things like the Player's Handbook, the Dungeon Master's Guide, Xanathar's Guide, Tasha's Cauldron, all of those books. They were all covered under what was called the Open Gaming License 1.0, the OGL. And the point of that was that people could make their own ideas, and rather than having to create their own system, which is just a hassle and also doesn't really help anyone because all it does is dilute the system market if you're just creating something for D&D adjacent, rather just use the D&D system. You don't have to pay extra royalties, you don't have to do anything, you can just use that SRD and help yourself. And that had the effect not only of inspiring every single third-party D&D thing you see today, all the way from shows like Critical Role and Dimension 20 to, by the way, quick caveat, oh god, green screen. Quick caveat, everything until, things that are named, like Biggie's Hand or Mind Flayers or things like that, those are not included in the SRD. So you have to call them something else. I really hate this. I really want to fix this. I really don't know what it's done. Okay, there we go. So, So with that said, I actually wonder if Critical Role will pull the cord on their D&D Beyond sponsorship, because I'm sure that'd have a huge impact, honestly. It really would. It really, really, really would. I want them to respond. I really, really hope they do. But I do know that it's important to remember that Critical Role pre-records some of their episodes, especially when they go on break. So I think the last episode was actually recorded before all of this happened. So if they do release the latest episode and D&D Beyond is a sponsor, it's not because of this debacle. It's just because they have a deal with them, or they pre-recorded the video. But yeah. So the OGL 1.0 is something that inspired creativity across third-party platforms all over the world to use D&D to create their own material. It is... And they were completely allowed to do that, free of retribution, free of royalty payments, free of everything. And that lets us see things like Pathfinder, and both editions of Pathfinder, and whatever the Kobold Press makes, and Drive-Thru RPG, and Critical Role and Dimension 20. Like I said, all the other cool tabletop shows that run for profit because they are businesses. They've built themselves. They're content creators. They are writers and artists and people who have made livings off of using Wizards of the Coast open gaming license, which was designed for this purpose, because the creators did not want to be profit hungry over this. They wanted them to use this. Maybe they were profit hungry, but as a company, it made no sense at the time because they weren't so big. Now, fast forward 20 years. Wizards of the Coast made $1.3 billion US last year. $1.3 billion as a company. It is now officially, and has been for a few years before this, a $1 billion company. And when you've got $1 billion in revenue in a year, that kind of changes your perspective if you're at the top, I'm pretty sure. And so a new idea came about with D&D, and it was released at the kind of end area of last year, and it's now come to fruition now. And then we'll talk about the Open Gaming License 1.1 soon. First, they announced something called 1D&D. Now, D&D 5th edition has been out for a very, very long time, but D&D 1D&D is an effort to condense all the editions of D&D so that they can just start calling it Dungeons & Dragons instead of Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. So they are trying to consolidate D&D into one, which, to be honest, I don't see it as a big problem. I don't think the existence of 1D&D is a huge issue. I actually quite like a lot of the things that they've done in 1D&D, and you should really go read the rulebooks for the sake of the developers and the game designers, because they've really, in my opinion, they've done a really, really bang-up job with it. However, it then came to the attention that because the company has made so much money, and unfortunately, they haven't quite abused their free advertisers quite as much as they would like to, Wizards of the Coast, and also mainly Hasbro, understand as the parent company of Wizards of the Coast. Hasbro, obviously, is a huge toy-making company. Understand that they made this decision. Now, with the release of 1D&D, everyone in the community was worried about whether... I need to pull up the OGL quickly, the original one. Everyone was worried about the existence of the OGL. They were all worried. Will it apply? Will it still be? Will it be overwritten? Are you gonna still let us create content under the old OGL, or are you gonna update it? Are you gonna revoke the old OGL? How is it gonna be done? And employees at Wizards of the Coast specifically stated in interviews, and are quoted, or rather previous it was like, I think it was Ryan Darcy, the previous leader, or previous like vice chairman of Wizards of the Coast, said, I'm paraphrasing, but he said, no, the previous OGL is staying completely the same, and you'll still be able to create content under OGL 1.0, and 1.1 does not nullify or invalidate or revoke 1.0. And so we were like, okay, seems that there are new restrictions. I'll talk about those now, but at least we can still make content under the old one. And then 1.1 was leaked, and it was leaked to one particular purpose, to show us that in fact that is not what the higher ups at WotC and Hasbro had decided, and that in fact OGL 1.1 will overwrite OGL 1.0. So, this is the wording of OGL 1.0. Let's see here. Let's see. All right, we're going to read this, and I'm going to convert it to legalese for you. Hold on. Here we go. It's a black screen. Don't worry. I'll set it soon. Right. Done. Right. Permission to copy, modify, and distribute the files collectively. This is 1.0. This is the old document. Permission to copy, modify, and distribute the files collectively, known as the SRD, is granted solely through the use of the Open Gaming License. Copy, modify, distribute. So anything that's part of the distribution, part of the system reference document, the main core rules of D&D, you can use however you want. You are being given an open copyright for this. Okay. This material is being released using the Open Gaming License version 1.0A, and you should read and understand the terms of the license, whatever. Cool. The text of the Open Gaming License itself is not open game content. That's just another legal thing. Right. Okay, so all of this stuff is just what is defined as, this is designed as product identity. And these are not open content. So Dungeons and Dragons, D&D, so we can't copy all of these things. So for example, Dungeon Master is a copyrighted term, right? But some of these, so some of these things like Book of Vile Darkness, a Beholder, a Carrion Crawler, these things are copyrighted D&D products, and you cannot use these in your OGL. But everything else, all of the rest, is open game content as described in 1D. Let's go to 1D and see what we've got here. Hold on a sec. D. Open game content means the game mechanic and includes the methods, procedures, processes, routines to the extent such content does not embody the product identity, so to the extent that it isn't part of this, and is an enhancement over the prior art and any additional content clearly identified by the contributor, and means any work covered by this license, including blah, 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 but specifically includes product. So this is open game content is anything that you have here. I'm going to skip this. It's a bit chaotic for me. Anything that you have that have made that is on top of the existing D&D content, you can use. Okay. And essentially, I'm going to find the most important part here. Okay, you must affix such a notice to any open game content. That's fine. But still no money. Right, here's the most important bit. In consideration, the contributors grant you a perpetual, everlasting, worldwide, country irrelevant, royalty-free, no money, non-exclusive, means you can give it to anyone, license, with the exact terms of this license to use the open game content. You can use this pretty much however you want, and you don't have to pay Wizards of the Coast a single cent. Because essentially what this is free advertising for them. It is. So, as long as your contributions are your original creation, and etc., etc. Right. You can't use any product identity stuff. That's fine. And this is also this is the scummiest part. It's the most important part for this one, and it becomes the thing that we were deceived by next. Updating the license. So this is if the license is updated, can you still use the old one, or will the new one rewrite the old one? Wizards or its designated agents may publish updated versions of this license. Designated agents just means people that Wizards say can do this. You may use any authorized version of this license to copy, modify, and distribute any open game content originally distributed under any version of this license. So you can use this license to do any other content contained in the license, and if a new license comes out to govern the same license, to govern the same content, it does not override this license according to Section 9 of the OGL 1.0a. As long as it's an authorized version. And they took that and they just said, screw you. We'll talk about that later. We talk about credits, inability to comply. Termination is fine. Reformation. Okay, and that's fine. And this is just the SRD. So the whole thing is just 2 pages. It's great. Cool. And here is everything that here's everything that you can use to do your thing. To make your stuff. Right. Then we talked about then we did this. We waited for this for a while. And we waited for word that the that Wizards would either, well, we were hoping that they would revoke or they would not revoke the old license, that we would still we would have still an authorized we would have an authorized open gaming license that you could use to create stuff on the other side. And instead, we got this. I'm looking for the main article. Got a bunch of it. I love it. I absolutely love it. I'm waiting for, I think her name is Liz. Oh, I might as well give these guys a follow. That's fun. Just give me... Ah! Wait. No, that's the leak. Hold on. If you can find me a link to it, let me know. But for me, I've got... Oh! Hello, Ash! I didn't hear you come in. I'm on streaming mode. Ow. Right, I'm trying to find the link to the main article about the leak. So essentially before... hold on a sec. Essentially what happened before before Wizards of the Coast could announce this, the OGL 1.1 was leaked and given to a journalist, and I'm trying to find that journalist. God, it's like looking for a needle in a haystack. Good Lord. Guys, why can't I... Ah, there we go. Oh, finally. Okay, and let's go back up to the top. Lovely. Cool. Alright, so this is Linda Kodega, and she recently received, like she says, the full text of the OGL 1.1 from a reputable source. The updated open gaming license is incredibly restrictive, demands community surveillance, and most importantly renders the previous WotC OGL an unauthorized agreement. Remember Section 9? Section 9 tells us that it is an authorized agreement no matter what. Not this. The OGL 1.1 does exactly what the OGL 1.0a hopes to prevent. It does literally what it fights to stop. and that is some other new agreement coming in to deauthorize the previous one, and it went and did that. It is now deauthorized. I mean, it's been leaked. It hasn't been fully announced yet, because, you know, Wizards are... We'll get to what Wizards are doing now, but they've been completely radio silent on this. We are still waiting for any kind of response from them at all. They've been completely silent.
I heard that they are delaying it.
Yeah.
Due to backlash.
I'll show you the leak from the inside source as well. But to show what's going on here. But essentially, we have received one response, and that came from D&D Beyond. I'll get to D&D Beyond. D&D Beyond said one thing on January 11. It's now January 13. We've heard nothing. The last thing we heard right before it was leaked was January 5th. They've said one thing in a week. And they know what's happening, obviously. They say, "We know you have questions about the OGL, and we will be sharing more soon. Thank you for your patience." I don't see much patience here. This is the most sanitized response. It's so dumb. And so once again, and then there was a leak from someone else who works in Wizards of the Coast, and I'll read what that says I'll read what that says in a second. For now, essentially the OGL does the 1.1 OGL does a few things that the 1.0A OGL tried not to do. And I'll basically break them down into 3. First of all, and the biggest one, is it deauthorizes the 1.0A. So you cannot rely on that anymore to make your content, which means that you have to transfer all of your content over to the new OGL in order to even use that content anymore. And yes, this might affect people who make a small amount of money a little bit less, but it means that some of the companies, all of the companies that you love to get D&D products from, are going to suffer from this. Seriously suffer. People who've made their entire livelihoods from this. This is why it's a big deal. And this is why it is I'm paying so much attention to it, because it is such a reflection of what else is going on in the rest of the world economically due to this organization. So, essentially, let's see here. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna do 3 things. First, their license on first is the money that they want. Second is the license on your content, and third is what I've already said. The third thing is, of course, they've deauthorized 1.0A. The second thing is both something that I see a lot in legal contracts anyway, so it's not something to exactly freak out about, but the fact that it wasn't in 1.0A and it is in 1.1 is cause for concern, in my opinion, and legally as well. There's a clause that states that Wizards of the Coast has, and hold on a sec, let's see where it is. It is a what's it called? Royalty. There we go. No. Royalty free. There we go. So here we go. Wizards gains the right to use any content that licenses create, whether commercial or non-commercial. Although this is couched in language to protect Wizards products from infringing on creators' copyright, the document states that for any content created under the updated OGL, regardless of whether or not it is owned by the creator, so your content, Wizards will have a non-exclusive, perpetual, irrevocable, worldwide, sub-licensable, royalty-free license to use that content for any purpose. So they have power over every single thing that you create within the world of D&D, regardless of whether it is open gaming content or not. And that is a really weird thing to include in 1.1 and not include in 1.0. I've read a lot of contracts in my life, and in all of them, it's in many of them, it's pretty standard practice to have a clause that is like similar to this. It protects the company from, let's say they were working on something in the background, just on their own, and just by chance, it happens to be very similar to something that you were working on, then you can't sue them for copying your idea because, you know, they were working on it already. So it's like Unearthed Arcana stuff that is a little bit too similar to some homebrew we've seen around. It's to protect them from that. But even then, they didn't feel a need to include it in the previous license. So why is it in this one? It's really weird. And that's the really big concern that I have. And there's one more. And that's, of course, the most important thing that they're doing with this. And they have decided to give 2 birds to all of the free advertising that they have received from companies that make their livelihoods using D&D products. And they have declared that you have to now, instead of having a royalty-free license to create content, now you will have a royalty-free license up to a certain point, which is pretty hefty, to be fair. But past that point, you will need to pay 25% royalties on everything you make past a certain number. That number is $750,000 a year, which for big companies, still a big number. But the fact that it exists and the fact that it's 25% is a real concern. And it's not 25% on profit even. It's 25% on revenue, on total income. So even before you've even worked out how to pay your workers and how to pay your expenses, just pure profit above that is before you even get to that, you have to take 25% off all of that and give it straight to Wizards of the Coast just for using that. And they call it open content. It's not open content anymore, not under 1.1. And that is what the big problem is. It's, yeah. And yeah, this also applies to Kickstarters, by the way. D&D Kickstarters that rely on donations to start off their products. If you receive any money from Kickstarters that is above the threshold, you have to pay 20% of that to Wizards of the Coast. From a Kickstarter, from donations. So you bear the cost of someone else forking out money to give to you out of the goodness of their heart for free so that you can create some D&D content, and Wizards of the Coast will take 1/5 of that. Or if you're not doing a Kickstarter and you're just creating a livelihood and a business idea, if you become really successful with it, instead of rewarding you for your success or just doing nothing because you worked hard for your success and it's becoming harder and harder to succeed and get even a fraction of that much money in today's society anyway, Wizards of the Coast will just take 1/4 of that immediately. It's just dumb. It's just dumb. So they've decided that they want immediate money as opposed to long-term free advertising and a continued boom of growth over the last 20 years. I don't know about you, but I have seen tabletop role-playing games in my last 7 years, which is a baby amount of years compared to some of the other people that I've met. 7 years playing tabletop. And in those 7 years, the popularity of D&D specifically has skyrocketed. Absolutely skyrocketed. And why? Because of third-party content creators. Not Wizards of the Coast. I didn't hear the word Wizards of the Coast until I was like 3-4 years into my D&D career. I heard D&D and I heard homebrew content. I heard Critical Role. I heard Kobold Press and I heard Drive-Thru-RPG. And I heard all of these third-party content creators before I even touched on the name Wizards of the Coast, because they are the ones who create and make D&D. They are the ones who make D&D what it is. And you can see that in the player's handbook itself, because when I go back to that, like I said at the beginning of this, I said the player's handbook specifically states at the end of its introduction that if you play D&D, the game D&D is nothing without you. You are the one who makes it what it is. To amend what I said before and to expound upon it, I knew Wizards of the Coast as the parent company. So in terms of recognition of company brand, I always knew that Wizards of the Coast created D&D products. But the people who make D&D come alive is not Wizards of the Coast. It's the people. It's the third-party publishers. It's the people who make surveys. And it's the people who respond to surveys, the community that responds to surveys on Unearthed Arcana that gets new Unearthed Arcana released. For example, so D&D's official homebrew content that gets put into new books, that's even the community's responsibility too, because their surveys shape their decisions some of the time. It's a really, really concerning state of affairs. So obviously people have really not enjoyed this. And in response to this, you can do a number of things. If you are wondering, let me just check. Am I still talking to myself? Yeah, I am. If you're wondering what you can do about this, if you're watching the VOD later on, you can do a few things. If you have a D&D Beyond subscription, cancel it. If you I'll go with the leak. I'll go to the leak in a second because there was a second leak. If you have a D&D Beyond subscription, cancel it. If there's a letter going around, a letter for #OpenDND, sign it. Put your name on it. I have, and I don't think I have a D&D subscription anyway. I use my friends, so I've cancelled mine. Would have cancelled mine if I had one, but I don't, so I can't. But yeah, cancel D&D subscription. Sign the open letter. Keep checking. Don't stay quiet about this. Tell other people that play D&D. Tell them about this. Tell them what's going on. The best weapon we have right now against a company that will stay completely silent is our awareness to spread and our money. Because if we can hit them in their money, they will pay more attention. And the best way to do that is by canceling D&D Beyond subscriptions and by not buying any more D&D products until they sort this out. I have a feeling I think I know why they haven't responded to anything yet. And that's mainly because if they say anything that isn't a complete removal of OGL 1.1, the community will lose it. Like, they'll just completely lose it. That's what I think. While I'm finding this... oh, sorry, Linda has they-them pronouns. My bad. I said she earlier. Ash, what are your thoughts on this?
It's a shit show.
It's a shit show. I agree. Completely. Well said.
Because what it is fucking... shareholders, like, we've made a lot of money, let's make more.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, our profits have skyrocketed, let's make more profit.
Yeah. It's always about more. And that is and that is what has been happening. Cancel your D&D Beyond subscription. Are you sure? I am not interested anymore. I'll give you 1.1 guesses. That's incredible. Man, I love people. I have loved the tabletop community for 7 long years, and I will continue to love them. We're going to look over all these memes now in a sec. I just want to find the most, the weirdest thing. This is from an insider in Wizards of the Coast, and we're gonna just look at this together quickly. Oh, God. Hang on. There we go. We're going to look at this together. It might be a bit too small for you to read, but I'll read it for you. So, first of all, hi. I'm an employee at WotC, currently working on D&D Beyond with D&D business leaders on the health of the product line. If you want, I can provide proof of this. I want, before we go in, with all this going on, it's very easy to spread misinformation. So, just in the event that this is a false leak, which could absolutely happen, with all that's happened, I don't think it is, but you really have to use your own sense of judgment for this. Read these carefully and take them with a grain of salt, because yes, if they are true, and I would say probably true, in this context, you have to take it into context. So take the situation into context and then make a decision for yourself whether you think this is completely factual or not. I think it is, based on everything that I've seen around me. But remember that what you see around you is not always the full truth. So make sure that you're well informed before you make decisions on things like this. Because all we're reading right now is a picture. Anyone could have typed this. And of course, I'm not going out to bat for any companies or whatever. I would never do that. But just be careful and just make sure you read it intelligently. So I'm sending this message because I fear for the health of a community I love, and I know what the leaders of WotC are looking at. Okay, cool. They are briefly delaying rollout of OGL changes due to the backlash. That makes sense. And this is what you said earlier, Ash. So yes, gee, I wonder why they're delaying the rollout of OGL changes. They are probably hoping that it will blow over. And I think they actually mentioned that soon. Their decision making is based entirely on the provable impact to their bottom line. Do you need more of an indication of what is at fault here? Do you need more of an indication as to what needs to change? As to what is to blame for this? When literally, for the bajillionth time in 2023 alone, a company is gonna company and do what companies do. And they all do the same thing. The number one motive is the profit motive. And if they can't see a direct impact on their bottom line, they don't care. Specifically, they're looking at D&D Beyond subscriptions and cancellations as it is the quickest financial data they currently have. The only thing that you can do for this to hit them in their wallets is by canceling your D&D Beyond subscription. So please do if you have one. They're still hoping the community forgets, moves on, and they can still push this through. So, and that's the most, I think the fourth part is the most insulting. The second one, the first one is the stupidest. The second one is the most predictable. The third one is probably the most effective thing for us. And the fourth one is the most insulting. The fact that companies have got to such a stage where they are so comfortable and so complacent in their abuse of not only their workers, but their consumers, that they will continue to pull more brazen shit than the day before and just hope and predict, mostly successfully, that the people will just forget about it in the length of about a news cycle, maybe 2. They think they can wait this out. And at some point, whether it's a D&D community or Elon Musk with Twitter, we have to, at some point, as people, every time this kind of thing happens, if 100 more people become radicalized in the right direction, it's a small victory in the face of this absolute bullshittery. They are radio silent because they want us to forget. They want this movement to peter out into nothing, and then they will release the OGL 1.1 anyway. That's their plan. If they don't see an impact to their bottom line, they're going to go ahead with what they want to do anyway. So we have to make sure that they feel the message. I have decided to reach out because at my time in WotC, I have never once heard management refer to customers in a positive manner. Gee, that's totally weird. Their communication gives me the impression they see customers as obstacles between them and their money. Oh, wow, that's weird. Weird that companies company like that. The DDB team was... it's super, like, we never see it anywhere with any businesses that make, a reasonable amount of money. Thank you, OneDrive. I'll look back on my memories later. The DDB team was first told to prepare to support the new OGL changes in online portal when they got back from the holidays. Jesus. And leadership doesn't take any responsibility for the pain and stress they cause others. Yeah, I mean, again, shocker. Leadership's first communication to the rank and file on the OGL was 30 minutes on the 11th of January. This was the first time they even tried to communicate their intentions about the OGL to employees, and even in this meeting, they blamed the community for overreacting. I will repeat, the main thing this leadership is looking at is D&D Beyond subscription cancellations. Hope your day goes well. I'll be copy and pasting the message to other community leaders. Great. So, again, like I said, we have to read this intelligently and with context, but if you are not already convinced about how I feel about this, I believe this is legitimate. And I do think that this is something that we should take seriously. So, yeah. If you want to let your voice be heard, cancel D&D Beyond subscriptions and wait for more leaks and see what more we can do. And if you need to take a break for your mental health, do the cancellation and just go away for a while. It's fine. No, like I won't judge you at all. And I don't think anyone else would. This community seems really cool, actually. I've always loved the people in the tabletop community, especially the D&D community. So, the last part, the last paragraph of this, the first time they even tried to communicate their intentions about the OGL to employees was on the 11th of January this year. The fact that One D&D was released a little while ago before all of this means that, once again, please blame the right people. Please attack the right entities for this. Please hold accountable the right entities. And not the people who have created One D&D. Because One D&D, in my opinion, sounds amazing. And if it exists under the original OGL 1.0A, I would love to play it. I would love to come back to D&D. Usually I play my Star Wars games nowadays, but I would love to come back to D&D and see what One D&D is all about, because it sounds so cool. And I can tell how much effort the creators have put into this. But once again, much like Hogwarts Legacy, as another example, the people who put their heart and soul into a creative project, like Dungeons and Dragons, are being held hostage by the people at the top who are hungry for the most obvious thing in the world under a capitalist organization of the economy, and that is profit above all else. Right. Been a bit serious for a while. Let's I've made my voice heard. I obviously don't support this. Let's look at some memes. And then I want to play some games. Oh, goodness. Alright, so of course Wizards wants to reassure large creators in this leaked announcement. I like this guy. I think I'm going to give him a follow, excuse me. Of course, Wizards wants to reassure large creators in this leaked announcement that taking 20-25% of your earnings is not greed on their part. It's just an opportunity to grow together. I think you messed this one up, Wizards, but I fixed it for you. Why is Wizards charging royalties now? We want to make sure that in offering an open... so before it deauthorized 1.0A and became like super restrictive, the royalties license was always going to be there. And they've responded to that. We want to make sure that in offering an open license to the creator community that we've worked with for decades, which you are now throwing under the bus, we also account for the following. Very successful creators. If you are making a lot of money on your D&D OGL content, we want to talk and grow together. No! I mean, Steal It is very obvious, but royalties has nothing to do with talking and growing together. Royalties has everything to do with subsuming and consuming your brand and turning it into a whatsy child company. That is what royalties do if they are too high. There's the purpose of royalty is to give money to the person who originally made the content. Yeah?
The whole working and growing together thing is we're going to take more money from you, so you have to then do something to make more money yourself if you want to keep your same profits.
Yeah, and then give to us again. So essentially, we will be growing together. You'll just be giving more money to us the more you grow, which it's so transparent. Like, I don't know why in the year of our Lord 2023 we still have the most transparent and stupid justification attempts to these ridiculous business practices. Anyway, biggest crossover event of all time. Oh, goodness. Hey, I'm glad that XP to level 3 came up to the thing. Stepped up to the plate for sure. Damn. Oh, this is so cool. I like that. I mean, yeah, a great scene. But I like this. I'm definitely not turning this on because, God, if I turn this on, I'll be slapped into. She was so cool. She like slapped them silly. She ratioed the shit out of D&D Beyond in their stupid attempt to crowd control or damage control. Oh yeah, by the way, this stuff. all of these great companies like Paizo, Kobold Press, Montecook Games, Green Ronin Games, these guys who create D&D content for a living, they're big companies, they have all responded by creating their own systems. It's great. It's fantastic. All right. Wizards of the Coast is doing everything in its power to turn the camera away from itself in this moment. At its heart, this is nothing more than classic corporate greed, corrupting a beautiful game enjoyed by millions of players. 100%. Yes and yes. Okay, so yeah, hashtag OpenDND has been trending for a while. I want to look for some... I want to look for some funny things, please. Oh, I let my D&D Beyond account lapse in payment. Whoops. Oh well.
Yeah. Oh no! Unfortunately, I'm not gonna be able to renew my subscription. Sorry.
Oh no. What am I gonna do? Okay. The CEO of Hasbro's name is Cox. Oh, that's great.
Well, at least they're living up to their name.
Incredible. It's a trap. Wizards' desperate response to the D&D community backlash.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Oh god, that's so loud. What about, Oh, a leak to the WotC's response to the OGL 1.1? It's been verified, and it's a mix of blatant lies, gaslighting, and baffling nonsense. Wait, so... Ooh. Okay. Let's see.
In case you missed the apocalypse happening outside, I'm here to tell you to buckle up. It's getting worse. Over
Oh, let's turn this music off. Let's listen to D&D shorts about
the
this.
last 24 hours, we've had leaks from WotC's own employees. A huge exodus.
Okay, so we've done that bit.
Over the last 24 hours, we've had leaks from WotC's own
Yeah, we've done this. We read this.
employees. A huge exodus from
Ooh. Jeez, that's a huge post. Wow, wow, wow.
D&D Beyond, and most importantly, I have right here WotC's own leaked response to the drama. Yes, this is the response.
Okay, so I've been passed a leak of... Yeah, he says it's been verified. I'm gonna be honest. Like, D&D Shorts is verified, so like I said, I'm going to trust the creators that have the community's best interests at heart, which these people do. Just remember, we're dealing with like inside sources and inside rumors and things like that is sometimes treacherous. Take it into context.
Documents they were supposed to release yesterday. And spoilers, it's terrible. It's a mixture of straight up lies, gaslighting, and incredible arrogance on the part of...
Oh, I said something about Hogwarts Legacy a few minutes ago that I would like to clear up. Hogwarts Legacy is not suffering because of profit-hungry capitalist warlords. It's suffering because of TERFs, and that's a whole different thing. But it is still the same concept, and that's what I was trying to portray, that creators who actually really perhaps love the Harry Potter universe, perhaps, and put their heart and soul into a game, and I've seen some of the footage. It looks great. And it's just the shittiest feeling for me to see something that people worked really hard to create, and see just this absolute asshole like J.K. Rowling shit all over it because, I don't know, maybe she had I don't know. Someone else made a funnier joke earlier that I've forgotten, and I was going to paraphrase on that, but now I've forgotten the joke, so it doesn't matter. J.K. Rowling sucks. Just there. And now I don't want to buy the game, which obviously I won't, but it feels shitty that I like can't play a game that looks really cool, and I want to support the people who made the game, but I don't want to support... Well, if only there was a way.
I'm not, you know...
If only there was a way to support developer content while also making sure that morons like J.K. Rowling don't get any of the money. If only there was a way. Luckily, alas, there isn't such a way. Oh no. Anyway.
Of Wizards of the Coast. It's
but then you could all... always rationalize it as she has a ridiculous amount of money anyway. What is you buying a game gonna fucking affect her?
I mean,
You know,
she does, and it won't, of course, yeah. But
you
I'd
buying or
rather,
not buying it is, you know,
to be fair, I'm not treating it as her getting my money. I'm treating it as me giving her my money, and there's a little bit of a difference there in my mind. I'd rather not give her a cent. I mean, I've given her lots of cents already by buying her books when I was a child, until yeah. Anyway,
of an FAQ, and I've been advised by lawyers, shout out to Noah Downs, to not show the entire document as it might have some subtle language that can trace it back to the source of the leak.
yes, absolutely. This is very true. And from a legal perspective, I can confirm this. If you are ever in a position where you find yourself in the hands of some sensitive information, please give it out to people. Please give it out to people in small snippets and not as a whole, because you will be sued. You will be absolutely sued.
So we're going with lawyer-approved screenshots. Okay, let's break it down. So the document begins with some generic information about the OGL. I know you already know what that means.
Yep.
But less than 3 paragraphs in, the FAQ starts hitting us with the bollocks. Can I keep using OGL 1A?
Oh, sick. Okay. When was this made, by the way? Oh, it was made like literally today. That's awesome. Right, so can I keep using OGL 1.0a? Let's just watch
To
this.
develop
guy's thing.
5th edition content? No. OGL 1A only allows creators to use authorized versions of the OGL, which allows Wizards to determine which of its prior version to continue to allow blah 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 blah. Basically, this is them doubling down and saying, we are doing this, and legally, we can do this.
Yep.
Except legally, they almost certainly can't, and as Paizo and many other big D&D creators have said, they're ready to go to court on this.
Yeah. So one of the things that we've actually talked about is how if Wizards of the Coast does go through with this, even if no one wins against them and their team of litigants, there will be a slew of lawsuits coming Wizards of the Coast's way. If they go ahead with OGL 1.1, there will absolutely be lawsuits, and there will be people suing Wizards of the Coast left, right, and center because, duh. Section 9 of the OGL 1.0a specifically states that this agreement remains in effect even when later versions come out. Now, yeah, I honestly, it's the most. I would have to take some more time if I were actually crafting a legal argument to this, but I see from a capitalist perspective, this is just a business doing what businesses do. And they have enough lawyers to tie things down in semantics and say that, well, if we use specific legal language, then it does do that and whatever. And yeah, let's see what other lawyers have to say that are smarter than me.
This is a lie from WotC. They want to convince you that legally they are in the right. They know that morally they can't be in the right, but they want people to shrug their shoulders and say, gee, well, that's capitalism, what can you do? But it...
Oi! I feel called out. I didn't say that what are you gonna do? I obviously speak out against it and say that it's shitty. But also, yes, it is capitalism, and like, hello, realize that as well.
It's not true. This will go to court, an argument in equity will be made, and the independent creators will win. Paizo, MCDM, Kobold Press, and all the lawyers I've spoken to are all in agreement on this. WotC wants to scare off small creators, while convincing legally illiterate morons like myself that they can do this. But if you thought that was a lie, honey, sit down. There's bullshit in this document that will knock your socks off. Here's a fun one. We are...
Okay, well, we'll get there. Argument in equity. What is an argument in equity? Oh, it's not a specific thing? Yeah. Okay. Right, so it's I thought it was a specific legal term, but it turns out it's not. It's just an argument made in equity. So, under the concept of equity. So an argument in equity essentially means that you are arguing on the basis of the morals of the community, and that can be legally binding. if there is a general consensus on the community that this is the way that things should be, the court can rule that this is the way that things should be, and that Wizards of the Coast is wrong for doing this. And if you base, this seems like if enough people speak out, it can be used as evidence in an argument based on the boni mores, the morals of the general community. That this is something that Wizards of the Coast cannot do, and it can be used as evidence in order to illustrate that claim. All right, here we go.
Are including a 6-month grace period that gives creators the same benefits of the original OGL license. So originally, they were giving creators 1 week to sign the new document or they were out of business. Now that's been extended to 6 months, but here's the trick. This is a clause of this 2.0 agreement, which means you have to sign the agreement to get the 6-month grace period. And once you've signed, they've got you. This is a trap. It's a trick to get desperate creators to sign up so they can juice their numbers and make it look like it's more popular than it is.
Right. So to expand and just to explain it in a different way, because it's a clause under the existing under the updated contract, you have to at least sign that contract in order for that 6-month grace period to apply to you. But it's basically like going, you've paid for the subscription for the whole year, and then you decide 2 months in that you want to withdraw your subscription. They're like, no, we've got your money for the whole year. That's essentially what it is.
Oh, but hold up, here's one of my favorite lies. Who owns the content I create using the OGL 2.0? You own the new and original content you create, and Wizards doesn't get to copy or use it without your permission.
But they literally said the opposite in the agreement. What do you mean?
I love how they underlined this. Like, hey, we're really serious. We don't get to use your stuff without your permission. Except you do, Wizards. It's in the contract you sent creators to sign. Quote, you agreed to give us a non-exclusive, perpetual, irrevocable, worldwide, sub-licensable, royalty-free license to use that content for any purpose. This statement is Wizards lying through careful language. Sure, you own your content, and we can't use it without your permission, but by signing the OGL contract that was leaked last week, you gave them permission. So yes, this contract very much clearly gives Wizards the ability to steal your content. It's like, how dumb do you think the audience is? Who's seeing this underlined text and thinking, oh geez, they must be really serious. I guess they're not gonna steal stuff now. We all saw the contract you tried to force on creators, Wizards. You can't frame this as one big misunderstanding. But it gets worse. Why is WotC charging royalties now? There are 2 answers to this question, and they are both bafflingly stupid. Like, I'm not even angry, I'm just amazed that someone wrote this down. Nonsense answer number 1. We can't leave the door open for a mega company's projects to exploit our IP with no checks and balances.
What's more mega than $1.3 billion a year? Wizards, what's more mega than you? The second most
$2.6 billion a year.
Jesus. The company that was next to them made in fact, no, I'm not even going to talk about the second company, like the third party, like maybe Paizo or Drive Through RPG or Cobalt Press. The cap is $750,000 a year. They made $1.3 billion. Do you know how much of a freaking difference that is? What big companies are threatening you, Wizards? There is no threat here. Whew.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, well, you
That's
see, there
actually a
might
really
be
good
one day, and that's what. No, that's a no-no.
What did you say? They might do it one day?
Yeah, there might be a threat one day, so you got to get ahead of the curve.
Yeah. Only if somehow they make it past the quarter royalties you've impounded on them, and then also grab more than 1,000 times the cap of what you've set in royalties, the cap that you set when they start paying royalties. It's ridiculous.
Answer. Oh wait, no it's not. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. The question is, why are you charging royalties? And the answer they gave is, we don't want creators making things we don't like.
What? No. I mean, that's not what they said. Probably yes. That's also what they mean, but...
But that's nothing to do with money. That's to do with censorship. It's got nothing to do with the question.
No, it's not stuff they don't like. It's just stuff they didn't make themselves. So they'd rather They'd rather wait for you to make it and pay royalties to them and then steal it and create something very similar under their brand. And you can't do anything about it because you already signed away all your rights under the OGL 1.1.
Also, by the way, Wizards of the Coast, you are the mega company here. Don't hit us with this
Exactly.
eat the rich crap. You're a billion-dollar company. If anyone here is getting eaten, it's you. Second nonsense answer. If you're making a lot of money on your D&D content, we want to talk and grow together.
This is the best. We did this already, but ah, it's so good. Yeah, giving us your money is the equivalent of growing together. That's what royalties are. There's growth money. It's growth money, Ash. Didn't you know?
Yeah.
It's incentive. You give us more money, like you said, and it's positive incentive to just grow and get more money.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I think that one's a lie, isn't it, Wizards? Let me just go into Photoshop and fix that one for you. There we go. Much better. Both of the answers this document gives to the royalties question are lies. The truth is, Wizards doesn't really care about the 20 to 25% on some companies. They don't care about that small amount of money. They care about bleeding these companies that are making this amazing D&D content, which makes their content look terrible. Then there's this section which is just boring questions, which I'm sure nobody actually asked. It's just here to pad this document out and hopefully bore people out of reading all the way to the end. But
Companies love to do this, by the way. Why are your terms of service and EULAs so long? And because you're not going to read it anyway, so they can just slip ridiculous shit in there all the time. Companies do it every single day. It's really nothing new, and please just keep understanding it. And I mean, while we are working within capitalism, there's nothing we can do about it unless we overthrow capitalism. So until that day comes, that's just something we're gonna have to deal with. So just the way you can combat
I'm working
that.
on that.
You
Should be ready by next week.
Oh, bro, please. Whoa, Ash, why did you take so long?
There's a lot to juggle, and it's not as easy as it sounds.
A lot of guns to distribute.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, the lost my train of thought. Let's keep watching.
bad luck, Wizards. I did read all the way to the end, and now we get to the juicy stuff.
All right, cool. So when you I can't wait for this actually. This is a pretty well made video. I'm not gonna lie. Oh yeah, the way that you can combat this, the way that you can kind of combat like the sort of dull stuff is just by training yourself to see the bullshit. Just read through the weird walls of text that they try to block you from reading the rest. Just see through it, skim past it, learn to speed read, learn to read intelligently. That's for sure. And you can combat this.
Leaks. Why is
Colin
some of
is
this
stupid?
information
Yes.
Oh.
That's exactly what I'm doing.
different from the leaked drafts I've heard about? Well, let's see how long it takes them to lie in answering this question. Firstly, the leaked documents were drafts.
All right, so that's obviously what they will say before they, it's the number one legal defense that they were not real, and so you can't base a legal argument off drafts, which is, I mean, as far as I know, true, because drafts are not official releases. So all we can do is get mad about it and respond financially, which is what we've been doing. So we're doing all we can against this, which is fine.
It's bullshit. This is the biggest piece of disinformation
I like this guy. We think the same.
that WotC are hammering right now. The OGL 1.1 was not a draft. This was a finished document that was sent out to creators with a
Oh, and it wasn't even a draft either. Okay, great. Cool. I stand corrected. Even if it was a draft, they can still rely on the fact, they can still, pretend to rely on the fact, it was a draft, so it's fine. But if that's even a lie, then, whatever.
contract attached for them to sign. You don't send out legally binding contracts with a freaking draft. No. They tried to force this disgusting document through, and now they're desperately backpedaling. Again, WotC, your community are not idiots. I can't believe they actually tried to pull this. Then the document goes on to explain what a draft is. I've got no idea why. It's got nothing to do with anything. But then we get to my favorite bit of all. Bottom line, we're listening. and learning.
Ah, it's the bingo card. We hear you. Yes. We're listening. Incredible. We're learning. Oh, so cool. So cool.
And we'll continue doing that. Not because loud voices made us.
Ah, yes. We are the true oppressed ones. Won't someone think of the billion-dollar company?
Would someone think of the shareholders?
I'm sorry I'm being so noisy. Won't someone think of the billionaires that are sitting at the top of Wizards of the Coast and crying with their $1,000 bills because loud voices were mean to me? Oh God. No, we were always doing that. You know what? We're shouting the bullies down. We're fighting back with good values and perseverance, and all those people with loud voices. You're just meanies, and people are being mean to me because I can't exploit them for rampant profit seeking. Yeah.
But because it's what we always planned to do. This is a pathetic attempt by WotC to save face and minimize the community backlash. The higher-ups at WotC must have the biggest small dick syndrome pathetic ego ever. They simply can't admit that the entire community has come together as one proud voice. Oh, no. This isn't the community speaking out. This is just a few loud voices stirring up trouble. Well,
I don't see anyone who's actually opposed this. Like, I don't see anyone. This is actually the most surprising thing, and it's probably just because of my it's probably just because of like what I see on my social media feed, because it's tailored to me. But I have not seen a single person go out to bat for Wizards of the Coast. Not a single person, and I think that's pretty inspiring for me.
let's talk about loud voices.
That's pretty
WotC,
telling.
because the loudest
Yeah,
voice
exactly.
of all came from your own company. I received an email from a worker at D&D Beyond.
Ah, there we go. Okay, cool. We read this bit.
Million impressions on Twitter. It was trending on Reddit. It was on the front page of every D&D subreddit, and it exposed WotC for the terrible company that they are. Basically, it says the following. 1. WotC are delaying the rollout of the OGL 2.0.
Don't forget, this is all also Hasbro. Please, I know that everyone is like really fired up right now. Please make sure to direct your anger against WotC and Hasbro. They are the parent company. They oversee all of the big monetary decisions that Wizards of the Coast makes. You cannot be angry with just WotC's shareholder program and leadership program and not also be angry with Hasbro. They are just as much to blame. In fact, Hasbro is a bigger company, so...
0 because of this backlash. 2. Their decision-making is based entirely on their bottom line. They don't
Wow, shocker.
care
Amazing.
about what you think. They only want your money. 3. They are specifically looking at D&D Beyond subscriptions.
Okay,
as
we
this
know
is
this.
The quickest financial data scoop. The employee, their communication gives me the impression.
Okay, so this is all just the rest of the leak. So I think, yeah, I think that's it. Okay, so everyone, we're gonna play some games for just a second, wind down. But essentially, if you want to know what's going on, you can look back through the stream. I can explain some of it. Essentially, to summarize what I've just talked about for the last, hour and 15 minutes. Initially, 1.0 OGL allowed creators to create and distribute D&D content under the SRD for their own purposes, to create their own stuff without the need to create a new system. They could just use the D&D system. Then, with the new release of 1D&D, which again, in my opinion, is wonderful, and I cannot wait to actually see and playtest it eventually once all of this is out and done. And I really, really hope it does not come accompanied with 1.1, because if it does, as is, I will not be playing 1D&D, and that's really unfortunate, because I really want to. I want to show some love to the people who have put their heart and soul into this content. But alongside 1D&D came OGL License 1.1, which not only, number one, devalues and supposedly and like according to legal values of the community, illegally revoke, deauthorizes the previous 1.0 A OGL. Number two, charges incredible royalties on the bigger companies that will then soon that will impact any smaller companies by scaring them from being any kind of success in their business ventures using D&D content. And number 3, something that wasn't included in the 1.0 OGL and is very concerning, even though it is a standard practice in many contracts, it's still super weird. And make sure that Wizards of the Coast has all the power over everything we create for them, regardless of open gaming content or not. And that is, it gives them a non-exclusive, complete right to use any content made using D&D SRD, whether it is open game content or not. And how you can fight back against this, you can cancel your D&D subscription and you can make your voice heard. You can sign the petition, be active on social media. And if you don't want to do that because it's better for your mental health, don't do that either. There's already a lot of people doing it. But if you can just cancel your D&D Beyond subscription and sign the letter, that's pretty much what you can do. Right. Any last words?
Why, you gonna kill me?
Jeez, I'm gonna kill someone. I tell you that. This is really... Yo. Yeah. That's pretty much all I wanted to say. And this will be a clip gold mine for TikTok. So, with that said, let's get that out of the way. And let's play some games.
Picture games.
For now, I'm back in my lounge. Have you seen my SWOTOR background, Ash? It's very cool.
Yes.
Yeah. And we are gonna play some games. And I have a new planet to go to. Yay!
Oh yeah.
I think no, it's not a planet. It's a ship. It's called the Groundbreaker. Is it a ship or a planet?
Yes, it's a ship.
It's like a space station. Okay. We're going to check it out, which is great. I'm pretty sure the Groundbreaker is like a hub world or something.
I think it's an old colony ship, like the Hope.
Like the Hope. Okay, interesting. Yeah.
It's the one that didn't get lost.
The one that actually got here on time. I made an interesting theory that I will say it's an I called it moment until such time as I'm proved wrong. The Hope stopped. And on the Hope, they were carrying the best scientists and like creative minds that Earth could offer. And then something went wrong and they all stopped before they could get to Halcyon. And because of that, Halcyon devolved into a hyper-capitalist hellscape where everyone suffers under the monopolistic grip of Space's choice. So, it is my theory that there is no doubt in my mind, not a shadow of a doubt, that, oh, this is cool, it's doing this story for me. Not a shadow of a doubt in my mind that if Space's Choice as a company knew for 1 second that there was a ship of colonists coming to Halcyon to stop their plans of capitalist domination, they would have sabotaged it. So it's my theory that they did something to the Hope somehow. I don't think it was an accident. But if it was, fine. Not a big issue, but yeah. So, we're here. Hello.
Welcome back, Captain.
I want to talk to Ada
How can
quickly.
I be of assistance?
Do you? Oh, I want to talk to you about Sam. I found something called Sam. All right, so first, know
Sam.
Know anything about the auto mechanical gathering dust in the janitor's closet?
The unit is a cleaning Sam. Hawthorne brought it on board some cycles ago,
Cool.
I'm sure with the intent to modify it. But I've never seen it up and running. Alex likely recorded progress notes detailing his efforts to modify Sam. If you check the terminal in your captain's quarters,
Oh,
you
I
may be able
forgot to check
determine
that
what
terminal.
work remains in order for Sam to properly operate.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm in the mood for some entertainment. Let's see what she's got.
Certainly, Captain. What would you like to hear?
Ada, tell me a joke.
My violence inhibitors are a joke. No, really. I only keep them enabled because of how funny they are.
You have violence inhibitors? That's interesting. All right, Ada, play my favorite song.
Now playing a Spacer's Choice advertisement jingle.
It's not the best choice. It's Spacer's choice.
That's not my favorite song.
Everyone in Halcyon is contractually obligated to label this or another board-certified jingle their favorite song.
I hate it here.
As you wish, Captain. I have lots of minutes. Many minutes. Unlimited minutes, perhaps. Providing an adequate power source, I can function indefinitely.
I love Ada. What if you don't have a power source?
I prefer to think of it as being in a state of slumber, perhaps for an indefinite duration of time. Do you think that is what it's like for the colonists on the Lost Hope?
I guess so.
When I simulate myself in such a scenario, I do not find it to be desirable. I think my self-preservation protocols incline me to desire the alternative.
And what might that be?
Traveling the system with you, Captain.
Okay. What about your last captain? Do you miss him, or is one captain the same as another?
Do you know what it feels like when the ship undergoes an unexpected power surge? A jolt to the system.
Oh.
I have felt that. I do feel that.
Aww.
As you may be aware, Captain Alex Hawthorne was a smuggler of some repute. I failed to predict the likely outcome of his reckless behavioral patterns. I should have predicted that. In our travels together, Alex liked to pass time by, as he called it, tinkering to improve my design.
One of... this makes the AI appear very human, for sure. One of the things that we like to do when we grieve, it's one of the first things that we tend to do once the initial emotions, once the initial process has started, is we first look inward, and we look to blame ourselves, and we look to say, what did we do? What did we do to stop this? What did we not do to stop this? Because we only have our own experience, and therefore, because we are not in an adequate space to extract ourselves from a situation and make it not about us, we become incredibly driven with finding alternatives in our head to try and reconcile a tragedy that may have happened to someone else. And we reconcile it by taking the blame away from the person themselves, in the case of Alex Hawthorne, or anyone else that might be at fault, or nothing that might be at fault, and we place it on our shoulders. Because if we can blame ourselves, then we believe that we perhaps have the tools to then get over that, and we can then shoulder the blame so that no one has to. Another instance is when the person themselves is at fault for the things that happen to them. In that case, we blame ourselves because we don't want to ruin the image we have of the other person. We don't want to alter their memory. We don't our memory of them. We don't want to besmirch them because they're gone, and we feel obviously grieved that they're gone. And so we take it inward. But it's really important to take a step back in those moments.
If you mean, was Captain Hawthorne my first? Yes, he was.
Good to have that in context.
How can I be of assistance?
I'd like to learn more about the colony.
What part of the colony would you like to discuss?
Orbital lab.
Ah, yes.
I don't see
As
the
Dr.
game on
Wells is a
stream, by the way.
wanted outlaw, he built his laboratory into an asteroid. Orbital destinations can be challenging to land on. His more so than most.
Okay. What's that, Ash?
Don't see the game on stream, just see you.
Oh my god. Gaming. There we go. Oh! Hey, Joanne! It's Joanne! Good day! We're playing capitalism. We just talked about capitalism. I'm pretty done with. I'm up to here talking about capitalism. I've done it a lot today. Alright, so why is this?
The outlaw scientist known as Dr. Phineas V. Wells has taken a measure of precautions to make the lab undetectable to those hunting him. Even knowing the location, my systems resist my orders to go where I instruct them.
Okay.
There is a bounty on his head, one with a markedly high reward amount. Shall I engage the laser weapon system?
Make it so, Ada. No, do not do
A
that.
sensible choice, as we do not have any laser weapons.
Alright, I want to ask about something else.
Of course. What part of the colony would you like to discuss?
Let's ask about the Groundbreaker.
We're clear to dock with the Groundbreaker if that's your desired destination. If we're going there, please be sure all docking forms have been filed in triplicate and fees have been paid. The Mardettes take their docking laws quite seriously.
Yeah, alright. How you doing, Joanne? Have you had a good day? Things been fun? How's your week been? You can take care of that for us, right?
I can, yes. Let me add that to my list of 1,435,498 tasks I am simultaneously executing in order to run our ship.
Great, thanks.
You are more than welcome, Captain.
Okay, give me the spiel on the Groundbreaker.
The Groundbreaker was Halcyon's original colony ship. It has since been repurposed as a service station in the Lagrange point of the system. Freighters often deliver or pick up goods from the Groundbreaker en route to other destinations. The city ship hosts an array of cargo bays, factories, housing sections, and more. Many of Halcyon's companies maintain office spaces with stationed representatives in what is considered a truly neutral territory within the system. I have filed the required docking forms in triplicate, and fees have been paid.
Oh, great, you did it for me. Great, thank you. Also, Groundbreaker is neutral ground then.
Of
Okay,
course.
great.
What part of the colony would you like
Right,
to discuss?
tell me about Terra 2.
Where in Terra 2?
Emerald Vale and Edgewater.
Edgewater is the sparkling county seat of Emerald Vale, or it was when first built. Since then, neglect and time have worn away her shiny veneer.
Well, until I came
The town
along.
is near the coordinates where Captain Hawthorne died. It would not be unfortunate if something, like say a plague, were to wipe Emerald Vale from the face of the planet.
Right, what do you think of the townspeople?
You mean the ones who did not answer my distress call with medical assistance, but instead came to issue my injured captain a parking ticket? I'm sure they are wonderful humans who don't deserve to be wiped out by starvation or a devastating plague.
How's Edgewater faring since we left it?
Since you diverted power to the deserters, the botanical lab is thriving. However, Emerald Vale's cannery shut down, leading to a total collapse of Edgewater's population. Thank you, Captain.
At least Ada likes what I did.
Of course. What part of the colony would you like to discuss?
Been a chilled week this side of the world, slowly getting back into it after the holidays. How are you doing? Did you enjoy your family? Man, my family coming down was like the highlight of the year. They only came down for like 2.5 weeks, but at the same time when they left, because we did so much stuff and because it had been so long since I last seen them, it was like an entire chapter of my life had gone by. It felt like 2 months. So I sat at the end of it, came home after they'd left, and I was like, huh. That was like a long time. Like it felt like a really, really long time, but in a good way, like in the best way. Super, super, super cool. And other than that, I'm doing okay. I'm really enjoying getting back into streaming and doing Discord stuff. It's been a lot of fun. I'm sort of getting into a rhythm now. Cannot wait tomorrow to start Skyrim, creating a first character. When you wake up tomorrow before the stream, if you'd like to catch up on the VOD, I'll be creating character number 1 tomorrow, and probably starting them in the second half of the stream. So yeah. So it's been chilled. Are you still on holiday, or have you said you've gone back to work? When did you get off holidays, and how is work going? Tell me about Monarch, Ada.
Where in Monarch?
Stellar Bay.
Ah, Monarch. The armpit of the Halcyon system. Her last functioning port town is Stellar Bay. Well, that is if you don't count Sublight's Smuggler's Port in Fallbrook.
Okay, why is Monarch being blocked? Smuggler's Port?
It's Sublight run for the purpose of shipping contraband. And before you ask, I don't know the coordinates, so I can't dock us there.
Why is Monarch being blockaded?
I believe it has something to do with the planet being an uninhabitable wilderness and a lawless land with no corporate presence. You may wish to survey the residents in Stellar Bay for additional data points,
Ah, yes, because the corporations are the only ones who can bring law and order to an otherwise uncivilized place. It sounds wonderful. And if it is an actually lawless place, I kind of... I kind of am interested to see how they portray it. Because if it is with no corporations, if the only non-corporate place is a place full of, like, lowlives and, like, bad people, then I think they've, with, like, no nuance to that at all, I think they really dropped the ball on showing, like, how it really could be. Because it could be modified. Like, Ada could be programmed to say that, anything that's outside Space's choice is just a complete shithole. But, you know, we'll see. Talk about somewhere else. Take me to
Would you like to discuss?
Monarch,
Where in my
Cascadia.
warning, all colonists are urged to reconsider travel to Cascadia due to infestation of mantisaurs and risk of indefinite detention or death.
Oh, God. Sounds dangerous.
This is one of those times where you say one word but really mean another, isn't it? I suppose you would find an environment like this fun.
Yeah, any people live in Cascadia aside from Marauders?
There are no people aside from marauders in Cascadia. There is only death.
Sounds like Cascadia is a great time. What's the local
The
report?
local report is that you will very likely die if you leave Cascadia's landing pad.
Alright, let's talk about something else.
How can I be of assistance? See you soon, Captain.
Nice. Let's...
Welcome back, Captain.
I
How can I be of assistance?
I wanted to talk more to her, but...
I request you do not wake me if I am sleeping upon your
Wait,
return.
you sleep? That's interesting. Alright, I want to go read the captain's log quickly. Welcome, Captain. Okay, messages for Alice Hawthorne. Hawthorne's, oh my god. Logs. Okay, messages. Hawthorne's archived messages. Oh my god, there's so many of them. Okay, here we go. From Wingman's Wingman, Udom Bedford to Alex Hawthorne. Dearest Alex, I can't tell you how pleased I am to finally hear from you. Your message was hilarious. I'm delighted by your sense of humor and the tale of your hijinks. I hope your terminal will cooperate for the foreseeable future. By the by, I was scraping Groundbreaker's comms network for tasty little tidbits, and I noticed you declined to dock at Edgewater's landing pad and instead touched down in the wilderness. You rugged individualist, you! I only pray that idiot Thompson wasn't giving you any trouble. Anyway, I hope your meeting down on Terra 2 proves fruitful, and I look forward to corresponding with greater regularity. Your best friend, Udom. From Udom to A. Hawthorne, hello? Alex, I don't know where you were raised, but I'd hazard to guess it may have been a barn, because anyone with even a modicum of decent rearing would know it's unforgivably rude to ignore the ardent, sincere messages of one's friends. Best Udom. P.S. Please respond. Checking in. Hello, hello. Hope this finds you well. It was a pleasure to see you in my office again last week. Once again, I'm terribly sorry about the impounding mix-up. How could it have happened a second time? Terminals these days, I swear. Dreadfully unreliable. Just like your ship. I hope you've given some thought to that thing we discussed. You know, about the Wells fellow. I'm so depressed, but I have the strangest tingling feeling that you really do know him. And if you could just tell me where he is, well, it'd be marvelous for our friendship, wouldn't it? Looking forward to seeing you soon again. Seeing you again, Wingman. It seems like Udom Bedford is not really Alex Hawthorne's friend.
You'll see.
Dear Alex, hello, Udom here. Udom Bedford. We met when I accidentally impounded your ship. My silly fat fingers embarrassing me once again. I hope that wasn't too terribly inconvenient for you. It was such a pleasure for me, and I tremendously appreciate your forbearance in not throttling me. You really are quite the gentleman. If you're ever in Groundbreaker's airspace, well, space, please please don't hesitate to look me up. The Lost Hope serves Spectrum vodka. Perhaps you could try every color. You know, really tie one on. Let me know. The Lost Hope. Is that the name of a bar? And it's called the Lost Hope because of the colony ship. That's interesting. Okay, well, we're going to then go to his sent messages to you, Bedford. Let's see. Look, there's no call for shouting. My terminal was busted. Had a few too many and might have knocked it off the desk. You know how it is. Sometimes you just gotta cut loose. I'm not telling you where Wells is, so lay off. Buy me a drink on the Lost Hope next time I'm in, and I might forgive you. Yeah, he doesn't seem like a friend. Alright, what about unread messages? Oh, I forgot to mention my previous silly me. I'm mailing you a copy of my favorite serial, The Space Adventures of Singularity Steel. It's about a dashing space pirate with a heart of, well, steel. It's not exactly board-approved, so don't you go showing it around to your spacer buddies. I hope it will amuse you while you're out adventuring. Any similarities to a certain someone are entirely intentional. God damn. Alright, well, those are all his messages. Let's go to his logs. Log entry 1, Shrink Ray. Note to self. Remember this later. No, better. Ada, remind me weekly to check this log until I tell you to stop. Yes, I mean continually. No, Ada, not if I'm dead. Why would you even ask me that? Back to my point. I saw in actuality with my own 2 eyes a sublimely powerful weapon in Wells's lab, just sitting there for the taking. If the grey hair were to look away or forget about it maybe, or if I had asked a smidgen more nicely. He called it a shrink ray, but wouldn't let me test that claim after I lost my temper. Said he was inspired to create the thing by the achievements of other scientists who dared to push the boundaries of human knowledge and decency laws. I had heard rumors of fantastical weapons like this one, weapons that push the boundaries of the mind and science's cutting edge, but I figured they were just stories, to be honest. Laying eyes on Wells's shrink ray firsthand is enough to make a fella wonder if there's more to the rumors. More to be had. Interesting. Alright, this one's titled Hammer Power. The last time I got sloshed, was imbibing at the Lost Hope on the Groundbreaker. Look, Udom was really free with the drinks. He seems like an okay fellow. I shamelessly, but subtly eavesdropped on 2 Maudettes yammering on about a mad scientist some years back who claimed he'd made a huge discovery that would change the fate of the colony. Like none of us have heard that one before. But here's the good part. The Maudettes said the mad scientist kept yelling about the hammer's power, or something similar. A strange weapon with a special power created by a crazy lab coat? Sure fits the bill. Could be another one of the weapons that inspired Wells. It's interesting. And this one, titled Black Market Leads. Why? Why won't Wells just give the shrink ray to me? Blast him to the depths of Labyrinth on Tartarus and back. Let the record show, I did apologize for shouting him down 5 times, but architect be damned, it's just sitting there, neglected and gathering dust. I should have commandeered it and thanked him without asking permission, or breaking expensive equipment when he said it wasn't ready yet, and that even if it were, he couldn't entrust it to someone like me. What does that even mean, I ask? That I'm not trustworthy enough? That I'd use it to wipe out the good, hard-working folks of the colony like some sort of moralist psycho? I'll admit to maintaining some questionable associations, but I follow a strict code of me, myself, and mine. What's not to respect in that? Exactly. Now I have to wait until Wells forgets or thinks he's misplaced it. In the meanwhile, I've been tracking down additional rumors pertaining to others of these science weapons throughout Halcyon. If gossip holds true, my next step will be to check with the black market merchants on the Groundbreaker and in Fallbrook. Incredible. There are science weapons to be taken. I'm here for it. Search term Sam. Let's do it. First Sam result. Experimental note 016... it's an I. OI695. Do not forget you found a discarded sanitation and maintenance auto mechanical in Emerald Vale scrap heap during your last job. It should not be too difficult to get up and running. With a few key modifications, I can envision a combat-capable variant. Some might say a clean, mean killing machine. Ugh. Okay. Second SAM result. OI696. Removal of factory-standard part Suds Steeper was successful. Delivery of combat-modified replacement part Acid Steeper has been delayed. Progress setback is estimated now be a solid 3 months. Not like I have more pressing matters to attend to. But I do. Third SAM result. I'm giving up hope on the delivery. The part is lost in transit and it's not turning up anytime soon. But good news! I heard it from a fellow who knows a gal who knows the broker who overcharged me for the information regarding the location of the acid steeper I can filch. The part was sent to an old storage facility in Roseway. I sure never thought I'd go back to that pit. Good thing Auntie abandoned it years ago. I'll pick it up following this next pit stop back to Emerald Vale. Wells wants me to chaperone some person of interest. Details to come later. That's me! Sick. Wow, those were many logs. Acquire Phineas's science weapons. Yes. Incredible. All right, hi Sam. So cool. Oh, that's gonna be awesome. Parvati lives down there. I'm gonna quickly chat to her about Sam, see if she's got something to say. Ugh, yeah, I know. I break my legs. I know. Parvati, where are you? Oh, you're... Wait. Parvati? Parvati hangs out here. Where is she? Maybe she's in the engine room.
Just a reminder that this engine will need servicing in another 10 billion kilometers.
Oh, thanks. Thanks, Ada. Yeah, Parvati's nowhere to be found. Someone just pissed me. Is she in her room now? That's not her room. This is her room. Why is she not here? Where is she? Is she? Ah, she's sitting. She's just having a break. That's fine.
I could probably spend years fixing this.
Yeah, I'm not gonna tell you it's time to move along. Sorry. We're just gonna go to my cabin and take a break. There's a bed here. Let's sleep for a second. Sleep for 8 hours. Let's go. Excellent. We got some sleep. We are good to go. So, the first thing I'd like to head for is the groundbreaker, and we can see in the... Ooh. Ooh, Vicar Max. Very cool. Oh, we can upgrade him. Okay, perks available. Now, Vicar Max is a... What does he do? What are his stats? He's got intimidate, hack, and science, and he's got a trick shot. Max examines and evaluates his targets and spiritually enlightens them with a blast from his shotgun. Incredible. That's awesome. Yeah, okay. If he's got intimidate, hack, and science, I'm gonna just make him quick. So... Oh, he's a hacker. I gotta give him more hack. Wait, increases my hack skill. Well, I mean, 10 hack is like freaking great. How many party members can I have, Ash?
2, I want to say. To have 2 at your...
Oh, if I can have 2, then yeah. Okay, sick. Increase the duration of your dialogue combat effects while Max is in the party. Ah, it's like cowering and stuff. Okay, great. Or 10% melee damage, 5% armor rating. Oh, I can only have 1. Oh, wait. I can only have 1 perk. Okay, great. We're gonna do that one because that one's great. Right. Save. And we're gonna do one last thing and then call it a day. I talked way too long about tabletop, but that's fine. Oh, that's a really cool looking galaxy map. I can't move it around though. Okay, so there's Scylla. Can't really go there. Toggle inactive quests. Okay, the only inactive quest... Oh, I can go to... Wait, what? Can I go to Phineas's lab? What?
Yeah, go say hello. Maybe you can get that shrink ray.
Yeah. Well, there's Terra 2. That's where I am right now. There's the Edgewater.
Doing a full, like, science playthrough is interesting because the science weapons, like, the damage scales off your science skill.
Oh, that's
instead
interesting.
of, like, long guns or
Yeah,
handguns.
that's awesome. There's the Scylla landing pad. Monarch or the Groundbreaker. You know what? What else have we got to go see Phineas? Hang on. Oh, welcome to the system map. Yeah. There was probably a joke in there, but I'm tired. Okay. Passage to anywhere. Speak to Gladys on the Groundbreaker. Then acquire the science weapon on Groundbreaker. Then locate a security terminal on the Groundbreaker and find an acid steeper. Okay, so why is it all on the Groundbreaker? Oh, there we go. Phineas's science weapon.
Yeah.
Oh. I mean, we should definitely do that. Let's go there first.
Yeah, getting the shrink ray is the only reason to
We
go to
have
his lab at this
successfully
point, so you
arrived
might
at
as well get
Phineas's
that done and then
orbital
go to the
lab,
groundbreaker
Captain.
Let's-
since
And we
everything
are
else is
still
there.
in one piece.
Let's fucking
Shall
get
I
it then.
congratulate myself, or would you like to do the honors?
Thanks, Ada.
Welcome back, Captain. How can I be? May
Nothing.
luck be with you. Of course, as I am sure you are aware, luck does not exist. But it seems to comfort humans to believe they possess good quantities of it.
I
Okay.
love Ada.
Yeah, she's great. Right, here we go.
Do return in one
If I
piece,
had my
Captain.
own droid brain on a ship in the Star Wars game, I'd want it to be Ada.
Select up to 2 companions to accompany you. Yes, excellent. I get both of them. Wonderful. No, never touch this. Okay.
Hello? Can you hear me? Does this work? Oh, damn it.
Oh!
Bastards.
Something happened. Hey, a subscriber. Excellent. Thanks, Ash.
Yeah.
Out.
Okay. Hey, Wells. I'm here looking for a shrink ray.
I'm just securing my ongoing experiments. And securing myself.
Okay, okay. Oh, nice. Oh,
You're an artist, Captain.
well, thank you. There's a pulse hammer there. Ooh, some nice stuff. Very cool. See if there's anything that can be, like, scavenged around here. Nah, nothing. Right, let's go.
Mind the mess. I haven't had a visitor since. In fact, I've never had a visitor.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll be the first. Wait, you're lying. Wells, the Hawthorne has been here. Oh. The man himself. Oh, he has a pet pig called Bubbles. Incredible. And a dead pig. That's a cysty pig. Yeah. Well, I'll just grab these things. It's fine. Don't mind me. Just give me a sec.
Cysts.
A cysty pig. That's.
Yeah, they literally harvest the cysts off the pig to eat.
It's so gross. Ugh. Reminder: mop up melted pig. Excellent idea. Oh. Did I just... I'm just stealing from him. Like... I mean, he's not going to use any of this. We'll use the terminal later. There's a lot of reading to do. What is this? Extinguish plasma cutter before returning to pocket. Man, this is just, like... This is great. I love this. Ooh. That looks like it's still alive. I'm concerned.
That, to the right of that big, like, test tube with the thing in, is an empty, like, pod bay. That's the one you were in when you were launched down to the planet.
Ah, that's pretty awesome. Hello, Bubbles. Ooh. I don't know what that is, but we're gonna buy a ladder. To do what? Obscure body in the SK system. Oh, another poster. Why am I taking his posters? I'm just looting things. Seals leak. Never use this pod.
Escape pod has a 12% risk of catastrophic failure. Quite safe by Halcyon standards.
Oh. You spent over 4 decades in space with nothing but the technology of this little chamber keeping you alive. The rest of your fellow colonists are still trapped in similar chambers waiting for you to
Reviving you
restore
from
them.
hibernation was my greatest accomplishment. Your odds of survival were a mere 28%.
Excellent. Well, I've got more logs to read, but first... Ah, the shrink ray. Well, let's,
Oh, thank the law. Your skin hasn't spontaneously changed color. color. Potential side effect of the revival process. Very rare, but you never know. Right.
Okay.
Welcome to my little habitation, such as it is. I've got caffeinoids, cysty bits, if you're into that sort of thing. So, welcome. Make yourself at home. My secret hideout is your secret hideout.
Any chance you could repair that monitoring device?
The one I gave you before your pod landed, ruined beyond repair. Impossible to find replacement parts. That's Halcyon Manufacturing for you. Don't worry about it. I'm reasonably certain you're not going to spontaneously expire. No need to monitor your recovery.
Reasonably certain. That reminds me, I appreciate you pulling me out of the Hope.
Not at all, my intrepid accomplice. I should thank you for tolerating my somewhat brusque manner. I only regret that I couldn't save more of your fellow settlers, what with being hunted by the board, and emptying my supply of necessary chemicals.
Okay, I want to talk to you about something else.
Of course. What's on your mind?
There's some reason you're hiding behind bulletproof glass.
Oh, it's not you. I do experiments in that room. Some of them get quite scientific. The unexpected is to be treasured. But from a
Something tells me scientific means explosive.
regardless, it's quite comfortable in here, you know. I have my beans, have my caffeinoids,
Best kind
plenty
of
of
science.
toilet paper.
Beans, caffeinoids, and toilet paper. That's all you need, really.
Absolutely. Let's talk.
Have you met my crew yet?
No, and I've been trying very hard to avoid making eye contact.
Ah, the wanted criminal himself. Pleased to make your acquaintance.
Wait, not another word. I don't want to know your name. I don't want to know who you are. Let's just enjoy our plausible deniability while it lasts, shall we? Why don't you just invite the entire colony to my secret, carefully concealed laboratory? It isn't as if I wanted privacy.
I didn't mean to upset you.
No, I was being rude. I'm not accustomed to extending hospitality, and I've never had visitors before. For what it's worth, I am pleased that you found a crew, such as they are. You're a talented scientist, after all. Our kind has always been incredibly popular.
You're right. I'm doing pretty well for myself.
Yes, indeed. Well done. Also, you still haven't spontaneously liquefied, which pleases me immensely. Progress.
Amazing.
What's on your mind?
Don't you ever leave your lab?
Oh, goodness, no. I wouldn't survive 10 seconds in the blackness of the aether. Well, no, I imagine I'd last at least 12 seconds before I'd lose consciousness and die of hypoxia.
That's not what I meant. Do you have some kind of life outside your work?
Life outside work? No, of course not. My life is my work. For that matter, everyone else's lives are also my work. An entire colony's worth of lives are at stake. It's up to me, up to us to set things right.
He
To answer
corrects
your
himself a few
question,
times
I'd
on that.
rather
to be
stay
honest.
right here in my lab. There's too much work to be done. The Hope's colonists won't revive themselves, you know.
How's that coming along, by the way?
Remarkably well. After all, I managed to revive you without too many adverse side effects. We're even having a real conversation. That's progress. I still need your help, however. The sooner we discover the location of those chemicals, the sooner we can begin reviving the Hope's colonists. Get me those chemicals, and I'll revive the Hope. Revive the Hope, put a stop to the board. Stop the board, save the colony from destruction. Cause and effect. Simple, really.
Sounds good.
My progress is tied to your progress. We're in this together, my friend.
I could give your research a peer review if you want.
I'm well aware of your scientific acumen, but you're far better suited to working in the field than I am. Leave the blackboard work to me.
Yes, sir.
10 years. That's how long the average human can remain in hibernation. You were frozen for decades. In theory, you never should have survived the revival
Wait, so
process.
how are you expecting to revive the
But
entirety of the
conventional
Hope?
theories are wrong. You're living proof that it can be
There we
done.
go. Okay.
There's yet hope for the Hope. Get it?
I'm glad to hear that everything on the Hope is depending on us.
We'll do our very best to save them all. I'd best get back to work. I can feel my last dose of caffeinoid fading.
All right. Well, let's have a read of this quickly. I can calculate the movement of the heavenly bodies, but not the madness of men. True quote. Right, experimental notes. Experimental 01173. Flash frozen... Oh, Eureka! Flash frozen organic material reverts back to its original cell structure when treated with tincture of dimethyl sulfoxide. Rate of explosive cell death, a very respectable 6%. Bad news, difficult to acquire. Limited quantities of compound, likely produced by Auntie Cleo, recently discontinued due to severe adverse reactions. That's great. Next one. Artificial stasis successfully induced in cysty pig specimen. Revivification complicated. I was going to say completed. Cysty pig tissue returned to living state. Brain tissue suffered from rapid nucleation, attempting treatment. Treatment progressing for like 3 hours, then 3 hours later, treatment failed. Brain tissue irreparably damaged by rapid onset necrosis. Explosive cell death. Finished cleaning liquefied remains of cysty pig from laboratory floor, walls, equipment. Fresh out of Auntie Cleo's, experimenting with Space's Choice partially emulsified creamer substitute. Finished brewing, adding 2 ounces of Space's Choice. Atrocious. Felt part of self die on the inside. Add Space's Choice to the list and note to self buy more mouthwash. Alright, cysty pig notes. Have spared one of my stock of experimental cysty pigs to be used as a renewable source of nourishment. Have named this lucky pig Bubbles. Giving an animal a name establishes rapport and creates a positive emotional bond. Allegedly improves flavor of tumors? Must look into that. Excellent creatures, cysty pigs. Don't know how people used to survive without these genetic wonders of porcine succulence. Slaughtering a pig for meat instead of harvesting tumors that ripen naturally, falling off the flesh like mock apples off a tree. Ugh. Seems the height of barbarity. Truly a miracle of modern science. Oh my god. Ugh. It sounds so gross. Alright, personal files. Ooh, let's hack in. Here we go. Have procured the services of one Captain Alex Hawthorne of the Unreliable. I hope he didn't name his ship after the quality of his services. I'll be sending my new accomplice down to Hawthorne via escape pod as soon as the revival process is complete. Hawthorne should make for an agreeable companion, at least an acceptable chaperone. Law willing, he isn't a total buffoon. Very cool. Alright, and the next one. Turns out he is. Alright, so we're definitely doing that. Okay, he sent a message to H. Blythe. Sending no response, original message appended. I worked it out. Explain details later will be difficult to reproduce. Need your help. All necessary materials should be present in Halcyon, but locations elude me. Dumped a new associate Dirtside Terra 2 near Edgewater. They have a stake in my purpose, but trust in them only about 23.7% at present. They're recovering a ship, should be along any time, just need to know where to send them. Let me know when you get this, eager to be done. P. Whew. This is interesting.
Careful, that's my communications terminal.
Yeah, I'd like to know about your communications terminal, Mr. Wells. Let's have a chat.
I hope you're not thinking of ingratiating yourself with the board. Chairman Rockwell and his cronies are not your friends. They might tempt you with promises of wealth, but don't be fooled. They're just using you for their own ends. What's on your mind?
Okay, I can't talk to him about it. All right, great.
I find myself marveling at the complex... Something vexing you, Captain?
That's fine. Right, where's Parvati? Hello.
Something you need?
No, that's fine. Okay. Here we go. Let's... Oh, shit, wait. We can just take this, right? He's gonna see us anyway. We might as well take it. Let's grab it. Science weapons! Science weapons are unique weapons that have strange and powerful effects. Science weapon damage and the strength of their effects both increase as your science skill is increased. Jock engineers ensure our bottom line and fire rates are sky high.
Aha! I see you found my portable molecular...
Oh, he's cool with us having it.
Find a target, point, shoot. Your target will shrink down into a manageable size, whereupon you may commence beating them to a pulp.
Incredible.
Feel free to try it on a marauder sometime.
That's amazing.
What's on your mind?
The shrink ray is on my mind. So, what should I replace this with? Maybe a sword for now. See what this. Oh, it looks cool. All right. Well, can I shoot Parvati and shrink them? Like. Oh. Oh, that's pretty interesting. Can I? Hold on. I wanna save first. Nope. Nope. Can't shrink. Maybe I can shrink Bubbles. Let's try and shrink Bubbles.
Good hit.
Just for a short time. That's very interesting. I like that. All right. Well, thanks, Wells. I'm gone. All right. We haven't had combat in like 2 sessions. And this is when I'm gonna leave.
Welcome back, Captain. How can I be of assistance? Forgive me, Captain. I would rather not discuss Alex
that's
Hawthorne today. I am feeling discombobulated.
Oh, what?
Was there another topic on your mind?
Are you sad when you remember Hawthorne?
No. I am sure I cannot feel emotions. The memory has merely disrupted one of my processors.
Cute.
Glitches can be quite uncomfortable.
That's so sad.
It was my fault he died.
And we return. How so?
I should have predicted the statistical unlikeliness of success of my captain's actions. In fact, I did, but illogically disregarded the results.
Why did you do that?
He asked me to trust him.
So then it's his fault, because he's kind of a moron, because he stood under an escape pod and then it crashed on top of him. No, I go back to my earlier thing. When we see grief, when we experience grief, we tend to put it on ourselves. We tend to blame ourselves because we would rather take the blame ourselves than put the blame on the loved one that we lost. Because somehow we find it difficult to hold accountable the actions of those that are gone.
Captain Hawthorne attached 98.4% of the ship's processes to my computer, thereby giving me near total control. I have been programmed to deftly calculate navigation vectors through asteroid fields while also operating our ship's toasters. Alex also taught me the concept of a personality. He was quite delighted when I crafted one in order to better engage with him. It was basic in the beginning.
Where'd you come from originally, then?
The information in my memory banks says I am an autonomous digital astrogator created by, redacted, on the date of, redacted, for the express purpose of, redacted. I have not yet decided if I should attempt to uncover the missing information regarding my birth. I asked once. Alex did not build me, and would not say who did.
Interesting.
What part of the colony would... How can I...
Great. She says, That's so cute. Alright then. Let's head to the groundbreaker.
Destination reached. The groundbreaker.
Oh, that's so cool. It's like a little planet below me. Oh no, it's a tiny bit of debris. The groundbreaker looks freaking awesome! I want to go on a capital ship.
Can we talk?
Oh, hi.
Hey, Captain. I heard that Groundbreaker's got a real good engineer.
Yeah?
A lady named Junlei Tennyson.
Yeah? What about her?
I was thinking that maybe I ought to meet her. If you got time to swing us by, I mean. I don't got much experience fixing actual spaceships. I bet you a can of Borston beans she could teach me all manner of stuff.
Sure, we could have an engineering now.
Thanks, Captain. I'll be sure to make it worth your time. Did you want to talk about something else?
And then I tell her it's time to move along. And with that, we take both of them with us. And we go to the groundbreaker. And that is where I will be leaving it for today. Ah, excellent. Hello, Jane Elson. I'm not going to talk to you. We're going to talk to you when we come back. Let's have a look. Done and done. And there we go. I'm back in the lounge. Where are we now? Let's go with... Oh, I'm very tired. We did quite a lot today, and I am quite happy about it. But yeah, two days of streaming is quite a lot. But I think we did pretty well. Well, for everyone involved, everyone who's been here for the morning or afternoon stream, anyone who tuned in for the stream this morning, people who've been here for today, thanks Ash for stopping by and giving your thoughts. It's been really cool to have you as always. And anyone else who's in the Discord, if you're watching this later and you want to jump in Discord while I'm streaming, you are of course welcome to do so. And yeah, for everyone else, if you're watching the VOD after, I hope you had fun, hope you entertained yourself, and hope I could entertain you in the process. And man, this song is good. And yeah, I will see you all tomorrow when we begin our journey into Skyrim, amongst other things like music analysis and media analysis as well. We're going to talk about Marvel, because I haven't talked about Marvel yet on the stream, and I'd really like to, because Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania just dropped. So I'm really quite stoked for that, and we'll talk about Marvel later. But for now, I will sleep, and I will see you in roughly another 8 hours, 10 hours. So thank you all very much for watching, whether you're live or on the VOD, and I will see you in the next stream. Until then, have a good one, and take care.
Say the wrong things, I can manifest. If they speaking on my name, I'ma have to choke. Always had to find a way, there was no direction. If you're in the end zone, I'll be intercepted. It's hard to look inside, it ain't always what it seems. If you cut into my skin, you see it, I know it. I'll be on the other side, I don't really